Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of the Top Rope Podcast. Yeah, what do we want to talk about? Woo! Let's go. Money in the Bank preview and predictions, excitement level. Hell, I'm going to even give you the match order that I think we will see take place at Money in the Bank. One of my favorite events of the year. Back in the day before they had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, just had the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. I mean, you talk about you take a match at WrestleMania and you turn it into its own pay-per-view. I think that says a ton. And it was one of my favorite matches every single time at WrestleMania. And I love it, love it, love it, love this premium live event. Arguably behind, I'm going to put it number 4, I think. I'm going to go WrestleMania, even though I really, really like the Royal Rumble. It's hard to not have WrestleMania. You just can't not have it at number 1. Go WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and then Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. Those are my 4 favorites. Let's get right into it. What do we think here, guys? What leads off the show? I don't think it'll be the Intercontinental Championship match because I think we're going to see a wonky finish in that one. I don't know about being the men's. Maybe. I think the men's will be the co-main event. Damian Priest, Seth Rollins. Is that your main event, or is the Money in the Bank ladder match your main event? I'll say the World Heavyweight Championship. If you want to put some prestige back on that title, build it up, build it up. That could be your main event. Men's right in front of it. I'm going to put the women leading off the show. And then that Intercontinental Championship second. So women's leading off the show. Intercontinental Championship match second. Oh, I forgot about the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Might that lead off the show? I could see that. I'll still go women. I'm going to put that Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens in the Bloodline. Well, the way that thing's been built up, hell, that might be last. Nah, maybe. I don't know. What's the main event here, guys? You would say... They could very well go that way, but I'm just telling you, if I was booking it, this is how I would book it. I lead off with that women's match, get the crowd popping. Then I'd go that Intercontinental Championship match. Then I would go men's Money in the Bank. Then I would go the Bloodline. Then I would go World Heavyweight Championship. Or maybe the men's Money in the Bank ladder match last. Flip-flop that and the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's get right into the matches. We'll start with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who do you got? We got Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be Drew. CM Punk will screw over Drew McIntyre for the 3rd time, setting up their match at SummerSlam. Mark it down. It is going to look like Drew McIntyre is going to win, and then there's going to be CM Punk. Maybe you don't see him. You see the wide shot. He's at the top of the ladder. Then you just see him look down. Because everybody else is out of the ring all by himself. Climbing. Gets to the top. Fingers on it. And then he has this, what? And then he looks down, and then he has this disgusting look on his face. CM Punk pulls him off the ladder. WWE, the camera work they do, they could pull that off, and they can make it look great, just like they made the ref spot look great. I'm calling that. Bank on that. That exact way. That's how I would book it. That is exactly how I would book it. So with Drew McIntyre out of the picture... Who's also likely not going to... Chad Gable's not winning it. Carmelo Hayes not winning it. Andrade's my dark horse. I don't know, they haven't done a whole lot with him. He's my dark horse, though. But, man, I think it comes down to LA Knight, yeah, or Jey Uso. I really, really do. I was surprised they didn't pull the trigger on LA Knight last year. Man, is this the time? I don't think so. I think it's going to be Jey Uso. And I'll tell you why. Because I think LA Knight does go to SummerSlam and does win that United States Championship off of Logan Paul. He's had it long enough. He's not a full-time competitor. LA Knight deserves a singles title. Maybe you could argue he does deserve Money in the Bank, and that would be just as big. And then he could cash in, become World Heavyweight Champion. I could totally see that happening, man. I really, really could. But I think they're going to have him settle for the U.S. title belt at SummerSlam, so I don't think he's going to win here. But I would not be surprised if they did pull the trigger on it. I've seen Double Chance before. He could be U.S. champ and be Mr. Money in the Bank. Boy, you talk about a way to elevate somebody. My goodness. My goodness. I mean, he was in top 10, and now he's borderlining on top 10. I am going to get to my full rankings. We're going to break it down. Talk about the best factions, men's wrestlers, women's wrestlers, a tag team. We're going to break it down coming up. So we're going to move through this, try to move through it relatively quickly, but I like diving in here, diving into the deep end. I'm going to say Jey Uso. I'm going to say Jey Uso takes the men's Money in the Bank. What about the ladies? Io Sky's not winning it back-to-back. No. Chelsea Green, love her. Glad she's finally getting a little shine on her, but she's not going to win. Lyra Valkyrie is my dark horse. Zoe Stark's not going to win. Naomi. Tiffany Stratton. I'm going with Tiff, man. It's Tiffy time, baby. It is absolutely Tiffy time. Yeah. I'd put it either Tiffany or Naomi. Naomi's proven herself time and time again. Don't think she's ever been the women's Money in the Bank holder. You know, she left for a while there. But she's that prominent where she could have that. Oh, can you imagine a glowing briefcase? A briefcase that glows? Oh, boy. Might change my pick just based on a briefcase glowing. No. I can see that, though. She's my number 2. I'm going Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton to win the women's Money in the Bank. I want to go ahead and get to that Intercontinental Championship match. I think it's too soon for Braun to win it. I think it's too soon for Sammy to lose it. Maybe Braun takes it from him at SummerSlam in a Fatal 4-Way, perhaps. I think who else did we have involved? I think Sheamus might have been involved. Bronson Reed and Vinci. Weren't they all involved in interfering in each other's matches? I think most of those guys were. So I think we're going to see some outside interference here. Unfortunately, I do think this will end in a DQ. And I think we'll set up that Fatal 4-Way, maybe a Fatal 5-Way if all those guys I was remember if they were all involved. Maybe only 4 of them were involved. So Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe Braun takes it then. As far as the World Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. Again, too soon for Priest. He loses, he'd be a transitional champion, and he's really starting to come along these last few weeks. His title run, I think, was kind of okay, but not great. Like, he wasn't really elevating the title like Seth did before. But I think he's starting to get there, especially everything involved with the Judgment Day. And, man, yeah, I mean, what's he going to lose? And then he's out of the Judgment Day? Then what does he do? Then you're going to have to rewrite him a whole new story? And no, it's not happening. Seth, is great. I love it. I know a lot of people maybe have issues with Seth coming back and getting in a title shot right away, but I don't. He's one of the best going today, one of the best of all time. So, no, I don't mind it at all. He's deserved. And he lost it, so he should get a rematch, right? Well, here you go. But he's not going to win it, but I like him being in the spot. And, because then Seth wouldn't challenge Damian Priest so long as he has the title. Well, he'll maybe have it till SummerSlam. I could see Gunther taking it off of him at SummerSlam for sure. But I don't know, man. I just don't know about Gunther these days. I don't know. I'm not quite as high on him as I once was. It's just kind of boring to me. It's kind of boring. He does a great job in the ring, but I don't know. And his interest is cool and everything, but I liked it when he was with... I said Vinci earlier. I meant to say Kaiser. I like it whenever he's with Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know why I said Vinci. Where's he at these days? Who knows? I don't know. I liked it whenever, Kaiser would announce Gunther and everything. I don't know. Just kind of boring to me now, but I do think that's the match at SummerSlam. Damian Priest and Gunther. I think Gunther wins it there, so now I think Seth Rollins does not win it here. We'll see what they have for him after that. I don't know, does the Bloodline start? I mean, not the Bloodline. Does the Wyatt Six start coming after him eventually? We'll see. Cody Rhodes, speaking of the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Got to build the heat. I'm building the heat. I don't think it would have hurt Cody, Randy, or KO all that much to take a loss to the Bloodline. Like, they've been booked kind of inconsistently, but the last 3 weeks, we've really seen them come on strong. You don't want to kill that momentum, so I think the Bloodline takes this one here. Do we see any more people join the Bloodline, like Haki Hikuleo or anybody like that? I don't know. I doubt it because they already got the numbers game, so I think they'll just use that numbers game to their advantage. Maybe if Kevin, Randy, or Cody get some help, we see any kind of comebacks or anything like that. I have no idea who it would be because I'm kayfabe. I don't look into that stuff. So I don't know. I think the Bloodline wins this one. I think my excitement level with this pay-per-view is at a 9.5. I love Money in the Bank. Like I said, I think my match of the night will be that men's Money in the Bank ladder match. But I'm going to give my wrestler of the night, I think it'll be Tiffany Stratton when she wins that women's Money in the Bank. Or maybe Damian Priest if he puts on a hell of a match and wins clean, goes over clean against Seth Rollins. Or maybe the Judgment Day tries to help him. He tells him, he already told him Priest did that he wants to do it alone. So can he do it alone? I think so. I'm going to go with Damian Priest. I think Damian Priest comes out of this as a wrestler of the night. That's my Money in the Bank predictions. I'm excited for the men's match at a 10, the women's match at about a 9, World Heavyweight Championship match at about an 8, Intercontinental Championship, just because I hate to say it's going to end in interference, it's only about a 7.5, and the 6-man tag, I don't really like 6-man tags all that much, but this is obviously star-studded, so my excitement level is at about a 7 for that one. That's Money in the Bank. Predictions preview, how I'd book it. Coming up, we're going to talk Heat Wave before we get into my Top Rope podcast rankings. Moving on to Heat Wave. Going to probably run through this a little bit quicker than we did Money in the Bank. NXT Heat Wave on Sunday. Fatal 4-way for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, and Shawn Spears. It wasn't horrible how this came about, but Javon Evans did win the Battle Royal. He's supposed to be the number 1 contenders, and turning it into a 4-way kind of diminishes your Battle Royal. But, Trick versus Javon this early on in Javon's career probably would have been a banger, but obviously no shot in heck that Javon would win. Ethan Page, Shawn Spears, they're not winning this match either. I know I say it quite a bit, but too early. Too early on in Trick's run. He will retain this one for sure. Who takes the pin? Probably Javon, but now I'm going to put it on one of the heels. I'm going to say he pins Ethan Page. Yeah. Roxanne Perez, Lola Vice. Don't think they're anywhere near calling Roxanne up. She's not ready. She's only 22 years old. Had to deal with a lot. But Yeah, I would say that would be the only reason that she would lose if they were going to call her up or something, but it's really not the time of the year to be doing that. Lola Vice, man, she's really come a long way, but I think Roxanne retains here. Excitement level for the men's fatal four-way, about a 7.5. Women's match, about a 6.5. Obafemi Wesley. Pretty excited about that one. I love both these guys. Probably about a 7.5 for that one as well. I would say that, yeah, if Femi wins, Wesley cannot get another title shot so long as Oba's the champion. Oh, man, you talk about a guy he's ready. He's not going to get called up yet, but man, he seems like he's really leaps and bounds ahead of most everybody else on that roster. Talking about Obafemi, I didn't expect him to speak all that good. He's still got some work to do in there and in the ring, but he's not going to be called up anytime soon. But he's ready, man. He's getting ready. He's getting ready. He's doing well. Wesley, I love Wesley, but Obafemi retains this one. Kalani Jordan, Soruka, man, oh man, gotta go Kalani. For the NXT Women's North American Championship, first title defense of that, right? You're not going to have Kalani lose it, but Soruka would be a worthy champion. But I'll say Kalani. The only one, do we go just straight down the board with no title changes? You know what? I'm going to say Chase U. I'm going to say we at least have to see one title change. I'm going to say Chase U beats Nathan Frazier in Axiom. It probably won't, but I got to go at least one title change on here, and that's it. My excitement level for that one's at about a 5. I think there's one other match on there as well. Carmen Petrovic, Ariana Grace versus Jacy Jane, Jasmine Nix. I think that's on the pre-show. I don't know. Go Jacy and Jasmine winning that match. That's the old Heat Wave previews. So I didn't dive too much into any of those. Just wanted to let you know who I think is going to win. Match of the night. I'm going to go Obafemi Wesley be my match of the night. As far as I'm predicting which one's going to steal the show. I think that one will. Wrestler of the night. I'm going to say that I want to say Lola Vice. Even though she might lose, I think she continues to elevate her stock and has one hell of a match against Roxanne Perez. Either that or Trick Williams just keeps elevating and has one hell of a match in the Fatal 4-Way. That's Heat Wave predictions. Let's get into my Top Rope podcast rankings. Start with the men. We're going to kind of break some of these down, talk about different guys as we make our way through the top 25. Look at some guys on the outside looking in right now. Guys like Obafemi, Santos Escobar, Orange Cassidy, Andrade. Even though he's in the men's Money in the Bank, I got him out of the top 25 right now. Okada, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Joe Hendry, Chris Jericho, Moose, Trick Williams. He's out of the top 25. There's an argument that he should maybe be in there. Would he be in your top 25? I got Ilya Dragunov at 28. For a hell of a main event, even though he lost on Monday Night Raw. He's right on that borderline of getting in there if he continues to do well. Sheamus at 27. Got Braun Strowman at 26. He was in the top 25, and then we don't see him on Monday Night Raw. I don't believe this past week. I got CM Punk, even though we haven't seen him in a couple weeks now, still at 25, just because he was so high up the list. We'll probably see him at Money in the Bank this weekend, so he'll be probably right back in the top 20, top 15, top 10 maybe. But he's dropped down slowly since he's been off TV, but still hanging on. At number 24, I got Otis. I've been very, very invested in everything that's been going on with the Alpha Academy and Otis. But to be honest with you, I might be doing a little bit of a disservice now with, they had him at catering, even though it was really odd looking, nice catering setup. Looked like more like we were at a restaurant or a buffet or something. But, Chad Gable shows up, tries to sit next to Otis. He kind of shows him a little bit of sympathy, but not really. Still says, hey, not doing it with you. Like, my God, the place exploded last week or the week before whenever he finally said, finally turned on Chad Gable, wasn't going to take it anymore, pushed him, shoved him, did what he did. Like, I don't know, man. To me, I might have ended it right there. I mean, sure, I guess if you want to try to have Chad Gable try to coax Otis back in there, feeling bad. Chad Gable, after getting beat down by the Wyatt Six, kind of realizing the errors of his ways, maybe, or maybe he's just lying about it. But to me, that's just making the crowd question things, and not fully get behind and invest in Otis. I think he could be maybe your best mid-card baby face. There's so many way more baby faces now, top baby faces in the company than there was whenever Otis was making his strong run back in 2019 before the pandemic, which really hurt him. I don't think he could get quite back to that level, but I think he could get close. But I don't think he can if they're going to continue to make him kind of second guess himself on whether or not he should be with Chad Gable or not. I think it's kind of hurting him. Number 23, I got Carmelo Hayes. Kind of inconsistent booking with him so far since he's been up on the main roster, but it was nice to see, even though he didn't get an entrance, it was nice to see him qualify for Money in the Bank. Number 22, I got Jack Perry. I think that was absolutely the right call at Forbidden Door, having him win that TNT championship. Yeah, I mean, I get it. They did it in a ladder match, but if Perry was going to be my champion, I think I would have I don't think I would have maybe done a tournament and had him get a bye all the way to the finals. But we've seen, like I've talked about before, with the Elite, and boy, it looked like they were going to run roughshod and do what they want for about 2 or 3 weeks there, and then we see Fallen Angel Daniels, Chris Daniels, I believe that's his name. Now he's like calling the shots and everything. The Elite just aren't doing much, so I guess they weren't able to. They tried to just give Jack Perry the championship. I think that might have been how that kind of started. The tide started to turn. There is where we saw the authority figure for AEW say, "No, you're not going to do that." But yeah, everybody in the Elite now has gold, so they are looking strong, at least from that standpoint. We'll get into the top factions coming up and get into more of that. Number 21, I can't believe I'm even saying this, man. MJF, all the way at 21. There were times where he was at number 1. He was in the top 5 so consistently for such a long time, but it's just not been good since he's been back. I've talked about it on some previous episodes, but just, going after baby faces. I don't know. I loved him as a heel. I get it. Everybody loves him and cheers him. But I loved him whenever he was a heel and got some of the loudest boos in the business. People should have just loved to hate him. But they turned him into a face. It did work, I guess. Even the storyline with Adam Cole was kind of the friend storyline. Like, it wasn't great at first, and it grew on me, was okay, and then we're never going to pay that off now, I guess. I mean, was that the payoff? MJF returns and kicks Adam Cole in the nuts, and we haven't heard a word from Adam Cole since then, or really anything with the Undisputed Kingdom. Why was Adam Cole even coming out there in the first? Why didn't you help him in the match before? Help Roddy keep the belt. Why didn't you help him? That was just not very well done. And MJF, man, oh man, he's got a match at Forbidden Door against a guy I've never even heard of, with absolutely no build. I don't know. He just doesn't seem to me like he's fitting in since he's returned to AEW. Like, maybe it's going to take a little bit of time with him to figure out his spot on exactly what they want to try to do with him in AEW. I don't know. Starting to question whether maybe, did he make the wrong decision going back there? It's still pretty early on. We'll see. At number 20, I got Dominic Mysterio. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where to put him. I mean, I think he deserves to be in the top 25. But, I didn't want to see him on my TV for the longest time. But I don't know, man. Just this past couple 2 month, however long since Rhea's been out, and he's like, I don't know, he's grown that mustache. And he looks a little bit older now. He looks a little bit not like so much like a kid anymore. Like, I don't know, like this is transformation where he's kind of growing up. And just, I have to put him in the top 25. He's involved in one of the better storylines going on with Liv Morgan. Right at the center of that. So, yeah, he's at number 20. Had a good match against his dad the other night. Rematch from WrestleMania. At number 19, I got Christian Cage. I don't know if I need to break everybody down. Christian's been doing good work here lately. Like, he's got to be careful. He could fall out of the top 25 if they don't continue to feature him prominently. You had the storyline with Swerve and getting the title shot and didn't make it. But now they're going after the who are they going after? Not the Blackpool Combat Club. They're going after the House of Black, which is, I guess, House of Black is faces. I don't know. I know I put too much stock into face and heel. Like, it just how my mind works. Like, oh, they can't go after them. They're a heel group and the other group's a heel group. Oh, that guy's a heel. That guy's a heel. No, Swerve and Ospreay, they can't fight each other. It's face on face. I don't know. I'm a little too old school sometimes, but WWE still does a very good job of that. Very good job of that, but AEW not so much. 18 got Kevin Owens. 17 got Randy Orton. I think that's about right for the guys. They're in there with Cody, teaming with Cody to take on the Bloodline. One of the most important storylines, but at the same time, I don't know. They're not like totally blowing my socks away with everything they've been doing. They've been doing a good job, but not worthy of the top 10, I don't think, right now. Number 16, I got Jacob Fatu. I don't know, you're probably like, Orton, KO, they've been around for so long, they're doing a great job. Fatu, just come here and you got Fatu above them. Well, keep in mind, this is now. This is right now. Who do I want to see on my TV the most? And, Jacob Fatu is very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. His debut was fantastic. He looked like $1 million, slimming down. I couldn't believe that he was a part of that last on SmackDown, putting Heyman through the table, bumping Heyman off the top. He looks good, man. Be interesting to see if he does any speaking at all. We'll see. 15, I got Chad Gable. Already kind of talked about him a little bit. 14, I got Gunther. Already talked about him a little bit. 13, I got Braun Breaker. Yes, sir. He is really climbing up. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was on the borderline of being in the top 25. Now he's all the way at 13. He wins this Intercontinental Championship, he's probably going to climb into the top 10. I don't think he will, like I said, but he wins it. He's going to climb into the top 10. He showed poise on the mic. He showed poise in the ring. He's there. They waited a long, long time to bring him up. And the wait was worth it. He looks great. He looks fantastic. Fully interested in Braun Breaker. Number 12, I got Logan Paul. Maybe a little bit, inconsistent. He's not there all the time. Maybe I should have him down a little bit lower, but he's a U.S. champion. He's one of the best in the ring. I mean, he just blows me away. It just looked like, if you said, all right, we're going to send you to Earth to do one thing, even though Logan Paul does so many things, it's like, all right, but what was he born to do? Man, it looks like he was, born to be a wrestler. I know I take offense to that and say, man, you're really good at this. You should go back to being a sportscaster. You should, that's your calling and this and that on things. But I can do I do a whole lot of different stuff, and I want to do a whole lot of different stuff. And I feel like I'm just as good at some of these other things as I am that. Maybe Logan Paul feels that same way, but man, it looks like he was born to be a wrestler. He's so damn good in all facets. And that's why he's at number 12. Number 11, I got LA Knight. Yeah. Talked about him a little bit. Definitely think he has a great shot at winning Money in the Bank. And man, the fact that he has stayed as high as he has since losing to Roman, not getting the singles title, not being pushed all that strongly. I'm not saying they're doing a horrible job with him, but they could have been doing a little bit more with him, but now they are. And man, I could just, all these months later, and he's still hovering around the top 10. Kudos to LA Knight, baby. He's got over and he's stayed over. He is a megastar, no doubt about it. Number 10, I got Jey Uso. Yeet! I mean, I love him coming through the crowd. I mean, he's involved. You know, he leads off Raw. He finishes Raw. He's involved in some of the biggest storyline. He's deserving, man. Number 9, I got Sami Zayn. I already talked about him a little bit. Number 8, I got Solo Sikoa. He was out of the top 10 for quite a long time, but again, last 3 weeks with the bloodline and him being at the center of it, I got to put him in the top 10, man. Number 7, controversial. I don't know where. Again, like if I'm sitting there trying to debate, okay, well, this guy's got the championship. Should I put him here over this guy? Maybe. You know, but I like this other guy a little bit more. Like, he pops off for me. I want him on my TV more. I'm more fully invested in him. So it's tough, you know. But we haven't seen him wrestle yet. I'm probably not going to for quite a long time. But at number 7, I got Uncle Howdy. Get into him more when we talk about factors. Number 6, I got Will Ospreay. Number 5, I got Swerve Strickland. Move those guys back up a few spots after Match of the Year candidate they had at Forbidden Door. Number 4, I got Seth Rollins. Number 3, I got Damian Priest. Number 2, I got Drew McIntyre. And at number 1, I got Cody Rhodes. Who's in your top 10? Should Damian Priest be that high? You know, I scratch my head. I wonder sometimes, but I'm like, man, he's involved in so many segments, and I'm interested in every single one of them. He's really come a long way. I mean, I could probably slide him all the way down behind Will Ospreay, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And you know, I hate to say it, but this kind of does come. It comes into the factor as well of like, okay, yeah, I could put him below Swerve and Will, but he's the world heavyweight champion in the WWE, which is still, you know, miles above, in my opinion, AEW. So I do bring that. It all factors in my head. It is all factoring in. And as far as Seth, I mean, I love him coming back. He deserves to be there, super high in that spot. And you could argue he deserves to go below Swerve and Will as well. But I think, I think all these guys. I think my top 6 is pretty darn solid. I don't think I made too many mistakes there. Maybe disagree. Let me know in the comments. Drew, I mean, he's money, man. He's money. Number 1, I mean, you know, I just kind of leave Cody there in that spot at number 1 and just leave him there because he's the Universal Champion, and the crowd, every time he comes out, absolutely loves him. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's just because he's the number 1 guy in the number 1 company, and he's doing a good job. A good job. I don't think it's a great job in his title run. He's doing a good job. He needs some better opponents. I love AJ, but, you know, he needs an opponent where I'm like, oh, crap, maybe. I don't know. I could see him maybe losing this. Probably not, but maybe. With AJ, it's like, no way in hell he's losing this, you know. I mean, and that's a factor as well of it just being too early in his run. So, I don't know. Is he just a lock at number 1? I think he is for now. That's my men's top 25. Let's get into the ladies. A lot harder for the ladies. I mean, I don't know. Some of the girls on the outside looking in. Deonna Purrazzo, Tatum Paxley, Fallon Henley, Meechin, Blair Davenport, Zoe Stark, Saraya, Dakota Kai, Piper Niven, who had climbed all the way up to, I think, 12. Now she's fallen out at 26. I don't know. I'm more interested in Wendy Chu. And she's come back as, you know, this zombie-like, she's like sleepwalking character. Used to come out all chummy in the pillow, and it's kind of a silly, you could call it stupid gimmick, but I don't know. I'm into her. I'm into her the way she looks and her way she moves, and I enjoyed her match the other night on NXT. On number 24, I got Kalani Jordan. Speaking of NXT, your Women's North America Champion. I already talked about her a little bit. Number 23, I got your ROH Champion. I don't watch a lot of ROH, to be totally honest with you. I don't watch any of it. But I know Athena pops off. Like, I don't know. They should be using her on the main roster. Find something to, like, she's darn good, man. She's darn good. But she's still the ROH Women's Champion. What, 3rd, 4th, 5th best company around, and she's the champ, so I got her in the top 25. Number 22, I got Ash by Elegance. I'm digging it, man. I'm caught up on TNA, so you're going to be seeing maybe some more TNA superstars. Hopefully I can stay caught up. Sometimes I fall 2, 3, 4 weeks behind on Impact, but I'm caught up right now. So Ash by Elegance doing a good job on my TV. I like her gimmick. I like her manager. It's working. It's working very well. It was a great move, I think, for her leaving WWE and going to TNA. Might we see? We did. I think we did see her back. Did we see her back at NXT? Or maybe we could. But yeah. Moving on. 21, I got Lola Vice. Already talked about her. She's on a great run. Number 20, I got Chris Statlander. Way more relevant now since she has turned heel. Number 19, I got Lyra Valkyrie. Number 18, I got Zelina Vega. She's steady, man. She's really steady. I had her out of the top 25. I'm like, I should put her back in there. She's really steady. Does a good job. Had the title match the other night. Seems like she gets a lot of those, but never wins. But it's all right. She does a good job. She'll probably fall right back out of the top 25, though, if I'm being honest. Number 17, I got Io Sky. Maybe she shouldn't even be that high. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really care about damage control right now. Really don't. Really don't. Number 16, I got Nikki Cross. I had her all the way up at like 4, 5, 6. Whenever the Wyatt 6 made their debut. But what's she done since? Handed a couple of boxes. VHS tapes to Michael Cole. Cool spots, but she hasn't said anything. She hasn't wrestled, so I can't put her too high up the list. 15, I got Mariah May. She's climbing the list rapidly. Hell of a spot with the triple kiss, and just that storyline with Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa leading into that matchup at Forbidden Door. Great match, great storyline. Mariah May was the person in the middle, and she got them all to be on the same page. Like, I don't know, call me crazy here, but I wouldn't see mind them adding Mina to the mix with Toni Storm and company. I don't know. Could work. Maybe it won't. Maybe they don't do it. 14, I got Naomi in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Talked about her. 13, got Chelsea Green. Talked about her. Same with Roxanne Perez at number 12. I don't know. She still looks just a little bit shaky on the mic. I don't know if it's from what happened to her. Where she collapsed in the ring, had to take some time off, like still finding her confidence and everything back, or maybe she's just trying to find her groove as a heel. She's trying, man. I think she'll get there. I think she's doing a decent job as women's champion. I really am into her, and that's why I got her as high as she is at number 12. Number 11, I got Jordan Grace, your TNA women's champion. Man, I had moved her briefly into the top 10, but then, man, she needs some work on the mic. She needs some work on the mic. I think that is holding her back now, right now, stopping her from being in WWE or NXT or, somewhere else. I think that's holding her back. She needs some help. She needs some help there. Keep working on it, girl. Keep working on it. Number 10, I got Nia Jax. She hasn't done a whole lot of late, but she stayed in the picture. She'd probably fall out if she, what's she doing? Helping Tiffany Stratton right now? Number 9, I got Willow Nightingale. Done a good job. But again, it's like, I don't know. I'm not like, just kind of falling off the last couple of weeks, but she's still there in the top 10. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, who's going to take whose spots here? Like, I should probably move Mariah May up more. I'm really, really into her, but she doesn't wrestle a whole lot. So, I mean, that does factor in. All these things, again, factor in. Number 8, I got Tiffy time, baby. Tiffany Stratton. Number 7, I got Bayley. I don't know what to do with Bayley. I don't know. I don't know what to do with her. I had her up at a high as number 3. I moved her down. I'm just, no, man. Just her run her as a baby face. Just, not into it. I don't like. I want to boo you. I want to boo you, girl. Turn back, baby. Turn back into a heel. Not a very good baby face. I don't think that's why I'm into her, but she's the champ. She's in the top 10. Really, probably for that reason alone. Number 6, I got, and she's one of the best historically. 6, I got Britt Baker, DMD. She's back, baby. Yes, sir. Appeared at Forbidden Door. It's going to be, looks like her and Mercedes Moné at Wembley at All In. Speaking of Mercedes, I got her at number 3, wedged in between there at 5 and 4. Jade and Bianca at number 2. I got Toni Storm, who was number 1 until Liv Morgan stole her spot, and Liv continues to be at number 1. We'll talk more about her coming up as we get into the top factions. We'll run down the top 10 tag teams and just, I don't know, not real great all around so far. Recently, number 10, Awesome Truth. Number 9, Fraser and Axiom. 8, DIY. 7, Myers and Edwards. I'm big on them, man. I'm big on the system, as you're just going to see coming up here shortly. Number 6, I got The Acclaim. Number 5, Fire and Dawn. Number 4, Balor and McDonough. Number 3, RKO, Randy and Kevin Owens. Maybe they shouldn't be as high as they are. They're not really a tag team. They're just kind of a super tag team kind of thrown together. You know, like how much will the weight in these tag team rankings depend on, you know, these guys are together. Clearly they're together and not just thrown together. Do you have a tag team name? They have a tag team name. So, you got number 3. Number 2, I got Theory and Waller. I'm sorry, I'm going to call them the SmackDown Tag Team Champions because I don't know whether they're World or WWE. But I do know they're on SmackDown. So you got SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Theory and Waller. And at number 1, I am still going the Young Bucks, but I don't know, any of this tag team stuff would be up for debate right now. I don't think it's real strong. I just don't think it's real strong. Factions, though, man, oh man, are there some good factions at number well, let's talk about outside looking in. You got Final Testament. I don't think they'll ever get to the top 10. Undisputed Kingdom. They were up there kind of high, but they're kind of falling off. Where the hell is Wardlow? Is he gone for good? Please put him in NXT. Give him a chance somewhere else. Legado del Fantasma, LWO, Bang Bang Gang, they could get back in the top 10. Damage Control, they could as well. At number 10, I got the Blackpool Combat Club. They've done like a lot of great stuff recently, but they've done enough they always do enough to stay relevant. So that's why they're at number 10. Number 9, I got the Don Callis family. Everything that happened with the screwdriver and Will Ospreay not using it like he should be. He don't need to be in there no more. Like I don't know. It's been kind of inconsistently booked there. I don't know. Like I haven't fully like drawn me in and invested in me. Like I know that Will's was a part of that, but now is he going to be out of that? It just seemed like kind of a loose connection before. They just thread it together. Details on these stories, and they don't always do that. But still decent enough. Number 9, Don Callis family. Number 8, I got the Learning Tree continuing to grow on me. Hi guys. Do you like the Learning Tree? I know you probably don't, but that's okay. You might. Some of you might. See, no, I'm still here. I got more to go, guys. Yeah. After number 8 comes number 7, guys. House of Black. Kind of like the Blackpool Combat Club. To me, like they do enough. They're not spectacular, but they do enough to stay relevant. Number 6, same with the Patriarchy. At number 5, I got the System, best faction in TNA, that's for sure. And they got all the gold too, baby. Just like the Elite, who's at number 4. And then it gets real fun. So I mean, obviously we got Bloodline, Judgment Day, Wyatt 6. What order do you put them in? When the Wyatt 6 debuted, they were instantly number 1. Instant. But now, they've fallen to number 3. Not because I think it's been bad or anything like that. I just think with Fatu debuting for the Bloodline was huge. And with them getting rid of Heyman last week, my interest level on that a little bit higher than it was these vignettes for the Wyatt 6. And same with the Judgment Day. Everything been going on with them. And Liv, and just, they continue to come up, and some of it's sort of similar. We saw Liv on top of Dom. We've kind of seen that before, and, he didn't, necessarily get up real quick. And just with every facet, though, with every member involved in the Judgment Day, and it all centering around Liv Morgan. She was helping him, and then she cost him. Cost Dom. Last week, trying to say she's sorry and everything. I'm very, very interested in it. I am still interested in the Wyatt 6, absolutely, you bet. But What are we going to do here? Are we going to bring out a videotape? Like Michael Cole didn't even look that scared the second time that they gave the videotape. And how did the guys, if you got security guys just laying out over the table, you would think that Michael Cole, whoever else is with him, commentary, I think it was Corey. Corey's been filling in for Pat. Was like, all right, and I guess it turns out Pat, they said condolences. I'm not sure if somebody passed away. Pat's family, God bless him, be with him, Lord. But I don't know. So I thought it was going to be storyline related because they were sending the messages to Pat. Maybe it still is, but maybe they wanted to throw in the condolences as well. But it's still going to be a kind of a storyline thing with them targeting Pat. But like Michael Cole should have been running like, oh my God, and he didn't even tell us how these security people got laid out and like they're laying on the table. Like he should have been a lot more scared than he was. He was the first time, but he was not the second time. And I don't think they can just come out and they can't do that every week. Like I thought it was going to maybe be somebody different than Taylor Rotunda. If I can remember his name, I will. I just did. I would call him that over Bo Dallas, but I do still tend to want to try to call him Bo Dallas, but it's not. I mean, you got to say it's Taylor Rotunda at this point. Interesting. Very, very interesting for sure. And are we going to see that with all these characters? Do they all get kind of this therapy session, I guess, if you will, with Uncle Howdy, or like this back and forth with Uncle Howdy, or is it their people in the masks, and do we see the people in the mask and them kind of staring at these masked characters, and then we see their unmasked side of them, or do we get Uncle Howdy and then their mask and we see these glitches? Maybe I don't know. I don't think we're going to see who's underneath there for a while now, so I don't know what they're going to do. I think maybe it's just all on Uncle Howdy to sit there and talk with these other characters. Or maybe we just see a couple of these tapes and then they go in a different direction and we get the backstory and the rest of the story on all these other characters after that. But to be honest with you, I have no idea what's going on. I really don't. I mean, that first week was kind of simple but really effective storyline with Bo, with Taylor talking to Uncle Howdy, and like it's just him. Right? So he's just one guy. We're not doing the woo-woo stuff, it doesn't look like, which is good. I like more of the realism, so it's just like him having this inner conflict within himself, like he's got that evil part of him and being an Uncle Howdy, but he's still himself. And are we going to see that with all the other characters as well? Maybe. And when do we see him wrestle? Probably not for quite a long time, and you know what? I'm okay with that. Just keep feeding me nuggets here and there. Do we need to see him every week? I mean, I would kind of like to, but then again, at the same time, if we do, they better mix it up, and they better do different stuff and not just give us vignettes every week. We'll see what happens, but still very interested in them. I don't see any of these top three spots. They're going to probably change back and forth, but I don't see any of these other factions stepping up and taking one of those top three spots from the Bloodline at 1, Judgment Day at 2, Wyatt 6 at number 3 for now. All right, I think that'll about wrap it up. It's been episode 15 of the Top Rope Podcast. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. God bless.